Hey YouTube, how's it going? So, I decided to greet you all here with Kafka instead of the usual Silver Wolf, just kind of show a different character. In my opinion, like the best designed character. I just really love her color scheme, the way she's dressed, and just everything. The freaking sunglasses on her head, like yeah, she's in terms of looks, my favorite character. But then of course, obviously, we have Silver Wolf for my actual favorite character in terms of like everything put together. So, but in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the teams that I use. Well, I guess all the teams that I use. I have like 5 main teams that I use for different scenarios. So yeah, we're gonna jump into those. Let's get into it. So right here, obviously, is the Kafka Black Swan team. So really good in dot situations. Really good for pure fiction, of course, because just so much dots are going on, and then Black Swan applies dots to everyone at this, like whenever they enter. Kafka triggers them, and then it's just everyone explodes. So definitely one of the pure fiction teams, and just whenever I just want to do a bunch of AoE damage. Obviously, we have Ron May, because she's really good when you have 2 DPSs, boosting their speed, their damage, and just really buffing them up. Then you have Locha, just really good comfort healer. Eventually, probably gonna go for Ho whenever she reruns, just to kind of further boost the team. But yeah, here's my Kafka and Black Swan team. And yeah, that's that. So I guess we're just gonna go, since we started with 5. I only have 5 main teams, and I kind of mix and match things as needed. But yeah, these are just the 5 like main teams that I have. So moving on here, we have Jing Liu, and I mean, she's arguably the strongest, most broken, easiest to play DPS in the game. So yeah, I really like Jing Liu a lot. She's a wonderful. She just looks great as a character, like character design wise. It's yeah, just character design wise, she looks really good. I love swords. Like anyone, I mean, you can see in the back there. Obviously, anyone that uses swords is just really cool to me. So Jing Liu definitely there. Also, a big reason why I like Kafka. That katana is pretty dope. But yeah, Jing Liu. And then we have Blade as well. So these two, or this team in total, is one of the most skill point friendly, or skill point usage friendly teams that I have, because she skills twice back to back, and then 3 turns go by, and then goes 3 turns without skilling, and then can even go more if you have her ult. He skills once every 3 turns, I believe. I believe that's how long his Hellscape lasts. She skills once every 3 turns, or you can obviously skill more to battery. But I mean, so these two can't use their skills when they're in their different states. So she can just skill, and just keep having her ult up. And kind of same for Fu Xuan, who only needs to skill every 3 turns. So this is like the most SP friendly, or SP usage friendly team that I have in my account. And yeah, it slaps for sure. Jing Liu's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, just because my blade isn't built that well yet. I obviously, because I pull for so many characters, I don't have the time to fully build everyone, because I just got Black Swan and Kafka. There's a lot of characters in this game that I want to build, or want to finish, I guess. My Jing Liu, she's pretty good. I don't think I've shown her on the channel yet or anything, but yeah, she hits pretty hard. Like, she's really good. So, or to me, for where I'm at with however many characters I have. But yeah, definitely Blade is not as good. But just the synergy between these two, even though my Blade isn't that good yet, it's just insane, because she takes allies HP whenever, you know how, I'm sure you've heard of this comp before. I didn't obviously come up with it. So yeah, they work way too well together. And then obviously, when you have 2 DPSs on a team, it just makes sense to have Ron May, because boosts both of them. And then my Fu Xuan, we know she's E2, but her E1 is the one that gives everyone 30% extra crit damage, and she gives crit rate. So it's just, there's so much synergy going on all over the place. Like, she heals, and yeah, there's just a lot going on. So yeah, this is a really fun team. I love playing it. This order here isn't really it's not in a particular order of which team I like over the other. I mean, spoiler alert, my Silver Wolf team is number one just because, she is my favorite character. So her team, of course, is going to be the top. But everything else isn't in any particular order. I really like all of these teams. So, but yeah, we'll move on to the next one. So surprise, surprise, it's basically the exact same, but with Silver Wolf. So the reason why this team works is because my Silver Wolf is E6S5. So she's another DPS. So dual DPS, you throw in Ron Mei, you throw in Fu Xuan, no one's dying, everyone's getting buffed. And then the other reason why it works so well is because we have dual ice, dual quantum. So no matter what your enemy's weakness is, Silver Wolf is either going to implant ice or quantum. If she implants ice weakness, that's just Jingliu's in the money there. If she plants quantum weakness, then that's Silver Wolf's game. And they hit so hard dependent of weakness types anyway, because Jingliu is just a busted DPS, and Silver Wolf at E6S5 of course is gonna do pretty well too. So this is just a really fun team. This is again, these aren't really in any particular order except for number one, Silver Wolf team. But this is just an amazing team. I don't know how well this would work with the E0 E0 Silver Wolf. Well, of course it would slap pretty hard, but just the fact that she also provides damage as well as the death shred and the weakness implant, and all of the debuffs that she does that she can feed off of. And then this is a really fun team. This is a super expensive team because they're all 5 stars, and then E6S5, E1, 2. You don't really, obviously that doesn't really matter. The E1 is just really good. You don't need it. She's E0. So actually, let me go. So this is, so I've said multiple times that I pull a lot of the 5 stars. I don't have all of them. Like, I don't have Huo, I don't have Argenti. So yeah, there's some that I don't have, but we can kind of see what's going on here. I have a lot of the big ticket ones, like Fu Xuan, the best preservation. She just kind of is. Ron Mei, up there, like one of the best, debatably better than Bronya. I know it goes back and forth. A lot of people say she's better, Bronya's better, but yeah, she's obviously up there. Like, if she's not number one, then she's like, they're both number one, And then there's also a lot of recycled characters here. So Ron Mei, let's go. Ron Mei, Fu Xuan, Jingliu, Ron Mei, Fu Xuan, Silver Wolf. So yeah, it's just I have a lot of the bigger ticket 5 stars, but I use them in multiple teams. Let's get into number 2. Of course, I have Danhong Imbibitor Lune, trying to pronounce that correctly, Tingyun, Welt, and Fu Xuan again. So it's just, how it is. Danhong, IL, big damage, lots of damage. And the reason why I got him is because I really like dragon themed characters. So obviously when I saw him, it was just like, I had to get him. I had to. It's really cool with the yin yang as well. Awesome design. I love the horns, love the tail whenever he goes into his animations, and just his animations as well. That ult with the dragon and his attack with the dragon swirling and all that stuff, like, it's just so cool. I picked up, I actually have him E1. I picked him up in the selector when I got to 300 pulls, and then I got him I was pulling for some 5 star and I got him. So there's that. Fu Xuan, of course. We had Ting Yun E6. You know, in a Dan Heng team or in an IL team, it's really he's trying to get all the skill points. So these two are basically, well, these three are basically just skill point generators. Like she has to use her skill every 3 turns to keep her buffs up and, you know, just kind of do her whole thing. But everyone, or these two are really just there to funnel skill points, and then when her ult does come up, it's really helpful to get his ult up quicker, so he just does a boatload of damage. So he's on the 4-piece imaginary set, so he definitely wants debuffs on enemies, so that's what Welt's there for. He has the resolution, Shanta's Pose Sweat light cone, so even with his basic attack, he can apply a debuff that he can take advantage of, so he's generating skill points while applying debuffs, and he's taking advantage of that. And then, so yeah, this is my Dan Heng IL team. He is E2 because it's just a really good Eidolon for him. Like he skills, then he ults, and then he skills again. I mean, it's just really good. But he also is someone that I need to finish build-wise, because he definitely does not hit as hard as he could. So definitely got to get better relics on him. He is fully maxed in terms of traces. Definitely got to get him up there. And I know Sparkle's going to help a lot when she comes out with basically all of his issues. As far as just helping him with more damage and then the skill points, obviously. So I really can't wait for her, for both him and Silverwolf. But yeah, this is my Dan Heng IL team. So, of course, here's my number 1. And I mean, this kind of fluctuates. In my last video with Silverwolf, the Silverwolf Showcase, it was Silverwolf, Ting Yun, Rania, and Fu Xuan. But this is kind of my mono quantum setup. Obviously, with Bronya, it's not mono quantum. But this is, let's call it my faux or my pseudo mono quantum setup, because when you use this team against a wind weak enemy, then it's mono quantum at that point. And obviously Brony is very similar to Sparkle and how she works. I like the way this team works quite a bit. You know, let's just pretend that this is Sparkle and it's actual mono quantum. So Silverwolf is obviously putting quantum on whoever, then that's proccing Shui Yi. You know, she's doing follow-up attacks, and obviously we know why Fu Xuan's so good. And then Sparkle, of course, the skill points, so they can just spam their skill over and over and over. Yeah, I really can't wait for Fu Xuan, or not Fu Xuan, for Sparkle in like less than a week. Yeah, that's just gonna be a lot of fun. This team, definitely my most anticipated team. Of course, she's gonna make a big splash here too for Dan Heng. I just can't wait for her for sure. So yeah, these are like my main teams, so to speak. There's a lot of obviously swap or interchangeability between them. Like I can put my Ting Yun over here, or I can take my Bronya over to Jing Liu. Like if I just run Jing Liu, Bronya, like Runmane, Locha, and then like my Silverwolf team or something. Like there's a lot of again interchangeability between a lot of these characters. So whenever I do MLC and Pure Fiction, I have enough teams to go around, and I can clear things pretty well and pretty easily. So yeah, definitely. I don't really, again, in terms of favorite team, I know these aren't any particular order because they're all very fun to play. Favorite team is actually my favorite team out of all of these is probably this one. Probably the Silverwolf Jing Liu team, because it works so well. Like they all work so well with each other, and they all synergize. I know that this is probably just a better synergy actually, just because of how they both work together and the skill point usage friendliness of it. But these two put together, and then the fact that it's double, or you know, Ice over here, Quantum over here with Fu Xuan, like this is just such a fun team to play. And the main reason why I wouldn't say Silverwolf, just hyper carry Silverwolf isn't my favorite is because she doesn't auto well. The game doesn't treat her as a DPS even when she's like E6 S5. I guess the game doesn't take like stuff like that into consideration, which, I mean, fair enough. But especially if I'm running like Silver Wolf and 2 buffers and Fu Xuan, it doesn't really know who to buff, so it just kind of like, I've had Bronya buff herself multiple times, which is pointless. And then running with Ting Yun, I've seen Ting Yun ult on Fu Xuan before when it was Silver Wolf, Ting Yun, Bronya, and Fu Xuan. So yeah, you can't really auto with them. Everyone else, I mean, the game doesn't, it's not the best with these either because it doesn't know to save skill points for Dan Heng. But yeah, I mean, let's go auto. In terms of auto friendliness, these 3 are obviously up there. But yeah, this team is just so fun. I mean, it's got 2 of my favorite characters, and then Ron Mei, which is an amazing character too. Fu Xuan, we all know she holds it down. She stands on business for the whole team all the time, so she's not going anywhere. She's pretty much indispensable to most of my teams. So yeah, this is probably my favorite team to play. So yeah, this is basically just a rundown of my favorite and most used teams. So we got Silver Wolf Mono Quantum, we have Dan Heng and Babida Lune, we got Jing Liu with Silver Wolf, Jing Li with Blade, and Kafka with Black Swan. So yeah, that was it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and keep it burning.
At this speed, too slow.